We've got Ped here. We have to ask the question, out of the FA Cup, as you kind of predicted.
Hi.
On the back of a defeat to Liverpool, which I have to say, because it'd be stupid of me not to. He called it a defining week.
He did.
Surely it's time up. He's lost 4-0.
Do you know that scene in Mike Bassett at the end when he goes into the press conference and he's going to resign and then he finds all these amazing excuses? That's Martinez, basically, isn't it, this week?
What was his post-match like? Have you seen it?
I don't think
Couldn't even bring yourself.
I haven't really watched anything. I've seen their goal for the first time, and that's about it. I think he said since that he deserves to be given the chance because he can see, shoots of this and that, and then basically ripped into David Moyes' tenure at the club. Wow. Basically saying, I'll give you more than 10 years of mediocrity, which is...
I'll give you 11. Or 12.
Which is incredible. Listen, he should have been sacked the night of the derby. It's as simple as that. I have never...
Before the FA Cup semi-final?
Yes, Robbie. Yes, he should have been sacked before the FA Cup.
That'd be a bit harsh.
Why would it be harsh?
Before...
We're sick of him.
You wouldn't have a replacement.
We have got
right? Before the semi-final of the FA Cup.
We have got capable men at the club that could have come in and easily have handled that game. The players clearly don't want to play for him. The fans don't want him. So if we'd gotten someone else for that game, could have just walked in and gone, right, there's 11 players, get out there and play and give them, whatever. Just give them a little bit of belief, because I think there's people at the club who could do that for the short term.
You're talking about Duncan Ferguson?
I'm not talking about Duncan Ferguson. I'm talking about people like David Unsworth, who runs under 21s, who's probably detached from the first team setup. I'm sure he has a lot of, but you know what I mean? Someone who does their own job day to day, who could have just come in. You have got people like Kevin Sheedy at the club. You have got people like Joe Royle at the club, who could have just come in for that one game and just give us talk and know how to set a team up and got on with it. Listen, that game on Wednesday, I'm not even asked what the
I think you could have won that semi-final on passion, you know what I mean? Because we saw what happened to you in the second half.
Yeah. Couple of little things happened. The fans walked into the ground on Saturday so flat. I put a video out after the game. People were arguing with each other about the best way to get behind the team, or it was so flat. And I don't think you would have got that if we'd had someone else in charge. I think fans would have bounced into that game. The relief of him finally going. Wednesday night was the one for me. It was, I did me rants. And the amount of people who come up to me on Saturday was just like, pat me on the back for it. It was incredible, because I would just said what other people were feeling. Yeah. It was indefensible, that performance against Liverpool. Indefensible. I have seen teams with the shittest Everton players ever go to Anfield and show more fight. I've seen them beat Liverpool at Goodison with worse teams because they had fight and desire and passion. All the things you need in football. And Wednesday was just horrific. And it's after the game, and he's doing his Puss in Boots eyes, from Shrek. Doing all that, giving all the Puss in Boots about how, missing players and this and that. You're just thinking, you're a fucking dickhead. Yeah. This job is too big for you. Yeah. And, go away. Just go somewhere else. But unfortunately, behind the scenes of the club is in flux.
Is there a guy there who can make that decision?
Well, that's the problem. You've got Mashiri, who owns 49.7 or whatever it is, or 48.9 of the club. Yet Bill Kenwright's the chairman and said nothing really can be done without our approval. You're thinking, what the fuck's going on? What needs to happen is Bill Kenwright needs to go. Martinez needs to go. Mashiri needs to say, I'm in charge of the club and this is my man. And that's what needs to happen at the football club. Because it's just at the moment, Robbie's been probably used to it for 10 years. You've just got too much. I am. You've just got too much going on behind the scenes where there's not enough say from one man. There's enough say from Bill Kenwright, but he needs to just be fucked off because he's had his day now. Yeah. And we thought that had happened, and it obviously hasn't happened. Now, whether they're going to wait for the summer, I don't know, but if it doesn't happen before Saturday, I think Saturday could be carnage. One way or another, whether people just don't turn up.
Who you got Saturday?
Bournemouth. But that doesn't really matter, does it? Fans are going to show it one way or another. you know, whether they don't turn up or whether they protest or whatever. It just needs to be done. This wouldn't happen at any other club. Yeah. Fans just wouldn't stand for it. It's gone on for too long now. I know it was an FA Cup semi-final. People might think, well, you're overdoing it. But we went into that semi-final. Fans were going into that game resigned to losing and were trying to enjoy the day as much as they could. That's sad. As I say, I remember going into 2009 against Manchester United, and I don't think anyone had really given us a chance, but we felt like you could win. I remember going into the 95 Cup final against Man United, this amazing team, and no one else gave us a chance, but we felt like you could win, and we did in both occasions. Yeah. Whereas on Saturday, we didn't feel like we could win as fans. You asked anyone, and no one thought they could win, and that was the saddest part, because he's took that off us.
Can I not play, just to play devil's advocate, you know, he makes the change, Delafeu comes on, and that does have a positive impact on that. You know, he hasn't gone from being, he hasn't become a dreadful manager overnight.
No, he hasn't.
It's been a long drawn-out process.
It took him about 12 months, but look at the game. Look at Wednesday night. He didn't have a defender on the bench, and we got a centre defender sent off. And then the other one goes off with the shits. And it's panic stations. We haven't got a centre-back because we haven't got a defender. And then on Saturday, we didn't have a forward on the bench. He's got paid 13.5 for Nias. And he's fucking George Weah's cousin by the looks of it. And he wasn't,
Ali Dyer.
And he wasn't even on the bench. You haven't got Coney on the bench, no matter what you think about Coney. You had Delafeu, okay. I don't know, what did he bring Morales on for the last minute or something? What's the point? You know what I mean? He had 2 right-backs on the bench. And we had a right-back starting who wasn't a right-back. What the fuck?
There you go.
Do you know what I mean? What more evidence is that you don't need fucking Inspector Clouseau in here to tell you he's a fucking knobhead?
Yeah. I was expecting this to be, everyone to throw in their opinions on this, but I thought, Ped, I just feel really sorry for you. I shouldn't feel sorry.
You shouldn't.
For Evertonians in any way, shape, or form.
And we certainly don't need Liverpool fans singing his fucking name either. Thank you very much. But is that not the biggest indictment of the man, that Liverpool fans are just laughing their heads off?
We did about your last manager though as well. We wanted 10 more years.
Only after 10 years though. 10
more years. Yeah, I think that's right. And I said this about after on Twitter, it's hard for me to take me Liverpool bias away because it's what I am like, but for yous and your fans, I don't give a shit about Everton Football Club. Don't care about Everton Football Club in any way, shape or form. But it's yous that I feel sorry for, because you keep getting there or thereabouts. Someone should have been able to deliver a piece of silverware for you at some point over that point, because you've been to semis and finals in the last 10 years.
Actually, you've had 2 semis this year, haven't you?
Yeah, and bottled both of them.
Yeah. And that's it. And that's the point is that we saw it in the semi-final against us, 2012, where you've got in front, but it was almost like waiting for it to go tits up. And when it did, there was that expectation. But this is like, we're 4 years on from that now. And usually, if you were in the dumps then, it's not, you're right that...
This is why I want a winner at the football club. This is why I want a manager who is a proven winner. So that gets injected.
He's won the FA Cup before, Martinez.
He's a winner.
Got relegated in the same year as well.
Proven winner.
And
loser at the same time.
I want a winner that's to come in and inject that into the club, so it soaks into everything. And there's managers out there who just refuse. They refuse
to lose.
They refuse to lose, don't they? You know what I mean? No, like if they lose, you look at Simeone, and I'm not saying he's going to be Everton manager, but you look at him, and he's got a club that. They're a big club, but you know what I mean? That in the terms of Spain, they're the 3rd biggest club, but they've got those 2 huge clubs above them. But he fucking hates losing. You can see when he walks off, and he'll walk off, and if he loses, there's a loser. Do you know what I mean? He fucking hates losing, and he will show that to everyone. And I want that. I want someone who just is horrible and just hates it. Not someone comes out and gives all these excuses of why you never won. But it wasn't our fault. I mean, it's this and that and whatever, all this bollocks excuses.
I thought, what I think, right? And excuse me, I was saying the same thing the other day about Arsene Wenger. I think like managers like Martinez, Wenger as well, they don't understand the modern sort of social media and modern way of... Because sometimes you just got to come out, and I've seen it a lot with Martinez, just come out sometimes and say, you know what, we were terrible today.
It wouldn't have surprised me if he'd come out and gone, well, okay, you saw what we did in the second half. That's what this team's capable of.
I think that's exactly what he said.
And you know, sometimes that's not what people want to hear, positivity at that time. They want to hear you be honest.
Still Man United manager is because when it's shit, he says it's shit. And that's the only thing that's given him, I think it's given him a stay of execution.
Both Martinez and Wenger, both very guilty of that. And they'll try and paint this picture of positivity. You know, Wenger came out the other day and was saying with the fans, he was like, you know, the way Arsenal fans are carrying on, you'd think we're about to be relegated or something. And listen, in the context of the club that we are, you know what I mean? That's not the right thing to say. Yeah. You know, and I just don't think that sometimes don't say anything. Yeah. Rather than come and try to paint this positive picture. And I think Martinez, a lot of the interviews I've seen him give, he seems to be an expert at doing that. And it just pees off fans even more.
I'm just amazed that he's not gone. I woke up this morning, Monday morning, and was listening on the radio, and I expected I did it Sunday as well. I was
they're
thinking,
not really, Everton not that sort of club, are they?
They're
just sack managers
but they need to be, let's be honest, like you mean.
They're not the kind of club that win things either, Robbie, so, do you know what I mean?
Okay.
You've got to be ruthless in football.
Loads more of this, of course, over on Toffee TV's YouTube channel, as you'd expect. Go over and check that out, youtube.com/EFCTV1. Yeah. Of course it is. Branding. Check it out. Pedal doubtless be doing loads more stuff on that. Very, very interesting stuff.